You missed that part. One more time. You guys, we almost didn't hit start because we're having so much fun. Look at this fabulous up in this mug. Look at this. Look at this woman. Oh, she's full bedazzled. I can't even take it. And I can't get my, hey.
Oh, yeah, it's all about the accessories, darling.
That is the Ultra in fist bump, absolutely. Hey, I'm going to white box you so I can try and work on my tiara right now because you are sporting it and it looks fabulous.
Well, this is the go with the flow, but you know, when I really need to show the men in my home the whole Queen Mother thing, I bring out the heavy guns.
And throws down the mic.
And then I put out my hand like this.
Uh-huh. And where did that come from, by the way?
The tiara. My mother was May Queen at Skidmore back in 1940-something or other. Got passed down.
She is not playing. So, hey, guess what? I'm Mia Voss. This is Andy Lyons, and welcome to the Mia Connect Power Chat, darling. This is the first time on my couch.
That's right. I've been a lot of other places with you, but to be on your couch, what an honor. And I have to say, just to be in your presence is always a treat. Everybody who's watching, right, don't you agree? Anytime you get to hang out with Mia Voss, it's very, very special. And for those of you who've been able to hurl and hip with her, oh my gosh, I know that you're all going, yep, unbelievable. This woman is amazing. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Mia.
Oh, thank you. I'm just going to say I'm rubber, you're glue. So right back at you, sister. Listen, speaking of people who got to hurl with you, let's give out a shout out to Stephan, who got to hug up on you for reals recently.
Absolutely, and Mark Traphagen and Eric Enge, you know, we've got a great, powerful New England group here in the Boston area that just loves to hurl.
They do love to hurl hip. We also love to say hip, so if, for those of you who don't know that, it's hang out in person or hang out in real life.
Right.
I think we say hug it out in real life.
That's wonderful.
That's what it is, totally. Let's say hi to all of our viewers out there. And I'm not going to get the tiara, so hold please. Thank you, Rhonda Green, for this fabric. You guys do. If I have not shown this in a while, but Rhonda Green made this for me because I love roosters. I'm an old hen, so I always say that. And then this came from Kirk, Sherrod. This is a bike gear. And then Rhonda bedazzled it for me.
Oh, my gosh, that's beautiful bedazzling. Bedazzling is a talent, everybody, let me tell you.
Don't knock it till you try it, party people, right?
Right.
All right, girlfriend, let's see if we did a beautiful intention prayer right before the show started. I'm just saying, so let's see how that works, because it is Mercury in retrograde, but I'm ready for anything. So let's say hi to, are you ready? Lee Rickler. Morning, afternoon, evening. Hello, my brother. Leno, look at him. He's adorable. We got Walter Simpson here as well.
Hi, Walter.
Hey, Walter. Denver Prophit. He's got his snacks going. He's ready with his oatmeal snack cake and coffee. He's such a great sharer, by the way. Have you ever seen any of his posts when he does his cute little graphic for people? Love.
Very special man.
Got a lot of that going on here. Look who's here, my brother Jeff C. Hey, looking forward to this one, Mia and Andy. Very interesting topic. And guys, you know what we said about it. It is Reinvent, Startup, StartOver. We are going to jump into that. I'm going to do a few more comments, though, because I also want to tell you, Andy and I have decided, and Andy, I didn't ask you this, but we did decide it's going to be very audience interactive. So quite honestly, I want to see if there's anybody that really just feels driven to tell us their story. Let me know, ping us, write it in the comments, and I'll send you a link to come on the show. Are you up for that, Andy?
I'm totally up for that. I'd love to hear your Reinvent, DoOver, StartOver, or even hairdo stories.
We'll take that outfit redo, home makeover, whatever you want, right? There's going to be some good ones. Look, our girl Gina is here as well. Oh, she's such a hero. I love what she does. She says, this looks great. She can't make the live show, so she's not actually here, but for when she watches the replay, she's going to get a little payback for making that comment, right?
Absolutely. Special mwah, 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 Gina.
Elena, hi, girlfriend. She says, nice handmade crown, Bella, Mia. Thank you so much. Cherylyn is here. Hey, girl, good morning. Big hugs and kisses with glitter. How about that? Scowcroft, Yasine is in the audience. Everybody is shining today. He posted the most wonderful picture, how we do Cloud Wars, and it literally looked like a genie. Crazy. So he's plugged into what the universe is serving up. Gotta love that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
One more, actually two more. Elaine, she's loving the tiaras. Don't mess with the dudes. Good noon, Mia Voss, and Ms. Deliciousness, Sandy Lion. And Lisa is also in shock. She can't believe this is the first time you've been on my couch. Right?
Right, it's amazing. It's like I was pinching myself all day, and I was dancing to Move Like Jagger, because I was just, woo, feeling it.
By the way, the picture that I just posted on the event, that was actually in mid-dance, in mid-jam for you. So, and we also have Esther Grondahl is here. She is my new favorite thing in the whole wide world. She is my sister from another mother, for sure, or sister from another mister, I should say. So, listen, are you ready to get in, girlfriend?
I am. I'm ready to dive into what it's like to reinvent, redo, start over, do over, and how wonderful it is for us when we have those moments. And sometimes they evolve naturally, and we see it happening. Sometimes a perfect stranger comes in and gives us an enlightening moment that we reinvent ourselves with, or a serious event happens and we have to reinvent ourselves. So sometimes it's choice, sometimes it's the universe. I love how reinvention unfolds for all of us. It's shedding skin.
It is. That last one you just mentioned, I call that one listen to the whisperer get hit with the brick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I've at this ripe old age, I've had all of them. I've gotten hit with a brick. I've listened to the whisper. I've had voices literally talk to me on a job site. Yeah, how's that go over for me, right?
Right.
Going, what? And then it's like, no, I told you. And that's my story of how I started the show. Was I had the radio show, and I kept thinking, I should probably keep doing that. It's free, and somebody offered it to me. And I had been doing a lot of meditating, and I literally heard this voice that said, it's not your brand. I'm like, damn it. And so I had to go. Didn't have any plan at all.
I understand those reinvention stories all too well.
Mm-hmm. I want to hear out there. Everybody start posting them too, Andy. I'm going to keep an eye out for it too in the stream. I do want to hear like either whether it was this angel voice light shining moment, clouds parting. It could have been a quiet meditation, a prayer, a suggestion from a parent or grandmother where you were willing to listen to it. Right.
Right. My favorite reinvention story happened to me when I went to graduate school to get my MBA, and I have to tell you, the first few months of graduate school, my brain hurt constantly. And in one of the classes I was taking called Operations, oh, God, I was not doing well. And the professor and I had a nice little meeting, and I said, I've got this great, strong right brain, and I'm just really creative and a great communicator, and blah, blah, blah. And he looked at me. He said, geez, Andy, I have to tell you, you have one of the strongest left brains I've ever seen. It's just no one's ever taught you how to use it. And I looked at him, I said, really? He said, yes, you are totally strategy, solution driven. Clearly in class, in your engagement, you are a left brain extraordinaire. And honest to God, it was a matrix moment, Mia.
Oh, I bet.
How the one minute they're the cop, and then there's the guy in the suit with the glasses. That was me. I was like, 1 minute I was like, da 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 da, and then I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I am a left brain.
Red pill, girlfriend.
And I went and I nailed financial accounting and strategy, and I rose to this level of...
And you literally had been to that at that age of going through high school, and no one had recognized that, and you just hadn't seen it.
Yeah, never knew it. So that was someone coming into my life and helping me own a superpower I didn't even know I had. So that's a reinvention as well, and it shifts the perception about yourself that you don't have, and that's a limiting perception. And so I love when those moments happen in life.
Oh, I'm with you on that, girlfriend. When it is a limiting perception. I never knew that. And there's two people I want to mention. One is Penny Sansevieri, had been on my show, and she works in book publishing and had a lot of the same moments where she's kind of toddling around and had people come up and say, and she would say, oh, I'm going to do this. And they're like, nope, that's not you. And that can be a rude awakening as well, because you think you've got it all planned out, and somebody could come to you with a suggestion that's not necessarily comfortable.
No, it isn't. And sometimes you find yourself making decisions and putting yourself in cultures that you can never be successful in because you're not in alignment with who you are. And I use myself. When I left grad school, I went right into a commercial lending program at one of the top New England banks. I didn't belong in banking. I'm a high-risk entrepreneur. So it was 3 years of a very interesting run, but I did it so to validate my resume. I really wanted to hone in some skills that they offered, but boy, it was pretty crazy navigating. And fortunately, by 1992, I stepped out into the entrepreneurial world full time, and I've been unemployable ever since.
I love that. We were on Chef Dennis's show last week, saying hi to my brother Louise Sheffy, and we got into that conversation a little bit about. I love that you have been unemployable for a certain amount of time. My line was, I make a terrible employee.
I get fired so fast. And they're smart to do it.
Yeah, right. Just more. I mean, talk about it also not being in a spot where it's serving you best. And I think that's a problem that people also have too. Is they may necessarily be good at something, but it's not what really lights their fire. And I'm not saying that we all get that luxury necessarily, but there is something to be said for choosing something that's really going to light you up. Because then it's not work. I know that's so cliched, but I'll say it.
Oh yeah, no, and it's all part of the entrepreneurial journey, and that's where you can get into struggles and challenges. I know that I did a little ceremony back in 2001 after 9/11. I wanted to step into something. We just moved back from California, and I wanted to do something where I could own my power and realize my full potential. And a few weeks later, I woke up with a really intense craving for granola. And so I went down to Whole Foods to buy it, and I couldn't find any on the shelf, so I said, oh, I'll make up a batch. Well, I shared it with everybody after I ate 3 batches myself, and it became a huge hit among family and friends, and they said, oh, you should start a business. I said, well, I do like the name Goddess Granola. Maybe I'll do that. I'd never done food, and as God is my witness, I'll never do a shelf life product again. And I didn't know anything about it, and really, if someone had said to me a year ahead before, hey, Andy, you're going to be doing a crunchy granola business, I would have said, what's the address for Betty Ford Clinic? Are you nuts? But again, and then I said to my friend, I said, oh, come on, you can do it. They do it down at Quincy Market, open up a little thing on the side. You can start this. And I said, look, I'm not starting any business unless I get a clear sign. So if I don't find a licensed bakery in my first phone call, I'm not doing it. I pretty much put it on the bookshelf. Yeah, that's never going to happen. And sure enough, so I call a local caterer, and I said, hey, do you have a licensed kitchen that I could use for this granola recipe I have? He goes, no, I don't, but I just hung up the phone with Steve Jacobs of Boston Bakery, and he's looking for people to lease his kitchen. I'm like, dang.
I can't remember who the Canadian is, but he always says, there's your sign.
Oh, God.
Might be Jeff Foxworthy, there's your sign.
Oh, and it was a great 4-year run, folks. I had the best time, and I didn't compete on shelves. And I'm saying this little advice for entrepreneurs. Always look for different ways to market, okay, to get to market. And in my case, I got certified as a woman-owned business right away, and I got into the supplier diversity programs with major food distribution companies like Sodexo and Aramark and Compass. And that helped me keep my margin for the product and expose it everywhere. I was in Reebok, Goldman Sachs, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute would buy the granola and give it away for free to their chemo patients because the taste was so good and it was so high in protein and carbs. So there's so many different ways to market. Now, the interesting thing is after a wonderful 4-year run, about $250,000 in angel money, I was looking to raise another $250,000 to go the Kellogg's route when several things happened. All of a sudden, the product cost skyrocketed, and it was like my margin disappeared. Second, my packaging plant got hit by lightning. I was like, oh, wow. And then 2 days later,
there's your sign also.
My manufacturing facility got hit by lightning. And I was, holy mackerel. But instead of going, okay, I get it, I was not happy. It was very sad. And I did have to close it down, and it was just a bummer. So that happens, too, on the entrepreneurial journey.
It does.
The adventure.
And talk about having to be pliable and resilient when that happens too, because it could come along, and yeah, that getting hit with the brick by that. But what's also great, I know you said you wouldn't do something again with shelf life, but think what's so cool is you went through this trajectory of 4 years of creating a product which people needed. right? People loved, people needed. It was helping out people going through chemo. I mean, things like that. You don't always have to stay with it. And I know for a lot of us at a certain age, a lot of our parents, I mean, my dad worked for the Illinois Water Company for 42 years, right? I mean, like, soup to nuts, the whole thing. That's all he did. So that's what I grew up with. My grandfather was with the railroad. So these, Midwesterners, the idea initially for me that work smarter, not harder, sounded lazy from where I came from. And then also like jumping through jobs. So it's always been sort of a uncomfortable existence for me to change things. But then again, it's kind of, that's where you got your different experiences. You got to go and run the food thing, and then, but you did get the sudden change, so you had to be pretty resilient to jump out.
I had to be resilient, and I understand where you're coming from. My father was a phone company for 37 years. That's what we saw. This, you get in with a company, you stay there forever, and then you get a nice pension, you retire. And so as an entrepreneur, unless you have a role model in your life, and even then, my husband and I wonder with our two boys if they're gonna what they're gonna think about entrepreneurship after watching us, riches, rags, riches, rags.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh. But for the journey itself, I just find it so rewarding. And I always encourage entrepreneurs to remember that life happens for you, not to you, for you. It's so important, because sometimes you can really feel victimized by certain things, especially if people are leaving comments on Yelp. For those folks, but
goodness, then there's that, right? Hey, real quick, we have some great comments too. We got all kinds of fun people up in here. So we have, this is Danielle. The best part of reinvention is having the mindset of why the hell not, and why not me? Ooh, I like that one. Right? Our girl Lisa says, each time I've had a reinvention, it began with a stirring inside, something that was calling me to step up and emerge into a fuller version of me so that I can serve the world in a more impactful way. She's not just talking either. Girlfriend is very definitely walking the talk. Denise is here. And listen, Denise, Lisa, any of you, Jean, Heidi. Ooh, guess what? Today is happy birthday to Heidi Hornline. So let's give her a little shout out too. She says her first reinvention brought her to Italy about 30 years ago, and she had that wonderful show yesterday. So shout out to her for that. Jean says, here's to the unemployable. And Denise says, waving hi. I'm very familiar with reinvention. Usually I get hit with a brick. So do you have any other brick stories that happened to you with your reinventions?
Oh, well, yeah. So entrepreneurs, we just look at things and come up with a business model, right? Whether it's functional and profitable, et cetera. But, and I price out everything I see. I'm going, I wonder what their profit margin is on that. It's very sad. So one summer after we dropped the boys off at camp and I had time alone for the first time in forever, I thought, what could I do next? Oh, I bet there are women out there who probably at the end of the day are too tired to even look at their darling, let alone kiss and hug and snuggle. And maybe, I could share some ideas that I found, because, when you're in a loving and lasting relationship, you got to keep things moving forward in the best way. And so I came up with a great business model and went to my graduate school's biannual business plan contest, and I entered it into the contest just to give me a deadline and a process to go through to stay focused. And I came in the semifinals, and I called into the school, and I said, Professor Nelson, are you nuts? I'm not going to be talking about anything the usual suits are going to want to hear. And she said, oh, no, we love this idea. So I went down, I did my presentation. Well, they still talk about it to this day. You just don't talk about that kind of taboo topic here in puritanical Boston. And I was so freaked out. I just said, Andy, really, of all the stupid ideas in the world, really, bring back desire. You're nuts. You're crazy. I backed out of the room and ran. And so I put it on the shelf, and I just said, oh, that's a really funny story. And 2 years later, I had an intern. I was helping a company out with some guerrilla marketing. And I had this great intern, a millennial, and I told her the, quote, funny story about my presentation in front of all the Boston suits. And she said, oh, my gosh, that's a brilliant idea. I go, well, honey, what do you know? Oh, wait, you're a millennial. You know everything. I forgot. Because they do. They're so aware. And she said, no, really, you need to do this. And I said, no, I don't. It's too taboo. And then she came back to me in 2 weeks and said, I can't stop thinking about it. I go, well, you're going to have to. So I'm not doing it. And then a month later, she goes, she started talking again, but it was that voice that came out, oh, you must do bring back desire, you know, that thing. I was like, what?
Luke, I'm your father. You bring
And,
back
right,
desire.
and so I went up to the mountains to hike to think about it. I said, okay, yes, I'll do it on the side. And I came back, and it was a stint that I was working at that they just let me go. And it was a clear sign that when I said yes, I was scooted out, and there we go. And Bring Back Desire, it was a huge success. It still is. Wonderful online experience. There's nothing like having to brand a taboo topic tastefully and playfully. It was one of the best experiences I could have ever hoped for. And I didn't know anything about Twitter, Facebook, nothing.
Right.
When I launched in June of 2011, nothing. And I didn't even know if I was going to use an assumed name. I mean, I do live in a lovely suburban neighborhood outside Boston, 2 children at home. And so I really had to struggle with that and do videos. What, are you nuts? But, you know, I found the voice. I found the right way to do it. And I branded myself personally, professionally, with who I am as Andy Lyons. And I used that consistently as a bridge over to what my website was. And it was great. I grew it from 0 to 35,000 visits a month, staying 5 to 6 minutes on average. Just a beautiful brand that's beloved by many people, has helped many people. My biggest challenge, though, me, is that I really couldn't monetize it. And
I'm trying to find my cha-ching sound so I can do that for you, because I know, because you know what, we are for profit. Hold please.
Thank you.
Right. We are for profit. You know, that's always not to tangent too much, but that is always a struggle with women is you know, being like full on for profit, because I want to make my money and then decide where it goes to. And I think a lot of times you feel like there's a little bit of a guilt to, oh my gosh, I'm making money, loving what I do. And I don't think guys struggle with that as much.
I know.
I'm giving you all a shout out, boys. That is not a slam to anyone. It just sometimes is the culture, and I think we're getting out of that with the continued entrepreneurial atmosphere we're in.
Yeah, and I do love making money. I think anybody who's trying to build a business online has the same challenge.
Sure.
Whether you're a 21-plus site or a wonderful supportive site for food or whatever, it is trying to nail down the right business model and profit model that you have for your business online. And it's an interesting challenge that we're all facing. Fortunately, we have wonderful experts out there like Denise Wakeman and Stephan and others who are helping us. Yep.
I think that's what is great, and let's talk a little bit about that too. There's definitely a discomfort level with reinvention. I just had it yesterday. I ran into a friend of mine who's like, what are you doing? and so he's not, you know, he's kind of half paying attention to what I'm posting, but I finally just said, you know, I'm a YouTube show host, and really only in the last week or two have I just really nailed in on that of like, this is what I really, really, really enjoy. I mean, I've known it, but I literally changed my, you know, my F word profile, my Facebook profile, to it. I just said, you know, this is what I'm doing. There are different revenue streams to it. There's a lot to it. It's what I enjoy. But you have to. There is definitely, and I bet you went through this, honey. Obviously, you did with changing to what you did of the, what are you doing? Like, so talk about that one on how you, because Lee Rickler has a good comment. Let me pull this up real quick. The 2 choices: coming up with a new business idea, do the same as others, which is a proven model, or be totally original with all the hurdles that'll bring. I say it's right. I say a little combo plate of it, and tell me what you think of it being the original idea. But then you can look to these folks, like we're talking about Denise, Stephan, all these people that are in our tribe.
Exactly. That's the beauty of online, is that you can find what you need and you can see role models and you can take and tweak for who you are. So with Bring Back Desire, last April, I'd done my final test, which was a membership. And you know, another time I'll tell everybody the reasons why it just couldn't work for me. It really was because I wasn't willing to be a sex coach. It really wasn't what I was there for. I wanted to be a resource. Right. But what happened was, over the prior year, I had helped more entrepreneurs with their business, happily and for free. And it just became clear to me I needed to focus on that. And the minute I said yes, okay, maybe I could do that on the side. The dream, the vision, everything for Bring Back Desire left my body. And this time, instead of going, what? I said, okay, time to move on. I'll handle this with grace and ease and elegance. Thank you.
Ooh, talk about a time saver, right, sweetie?
Yeah, and so, yeah, exactly, Mia. Not about being at fault, I mean, it was more about look what I learned and the reputation I was able to establish. But unlike how we used to do business, where when you go in transition in between businesses, you take time off, you think about it, you come out with, and then you have a nice relaunch. With an online presence, how long can you really be gone, especially if you've worked hard to build up really meaningful connections? I don't know, I'd put that out to the audience. For me, I felt that I needed to keep my online presence going, so I just flowed into Possibility Partners, and the day I announced, basically changed my LinkedIn profile, I got my first client. And I've been making money ever since. So it was like, okay, good. I like how this feels. Now, do I have it all figured out? No, but the most important thing when you go to start a business, and this goes back to the previous comment, is you have to understand the experience you want your customers and clients to have. It may take a year or two to actually come up with the name, the right tagline to fit that. But if you know that brand promise that you're going to bring your peeps, your tribe, your audience, then you have permission to float and feel and try. I mean, I have more elevator pitches than women have shoes. I know so much,
That
right?
is so quotable. But you've nailed it. And by the way, remember last week I was saying that you were on Chef's Show when you did say your elevator speech of what you do. I was like, ooh, somebody's nailed it.
Well, that was last week. Who knows? Maybe it's different this week. And I'm okay with that.
Totally. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and that's why I talk about perfection being the adversary of creativity and progress. You can't get caught up in the perfection.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. So if you guys, Andy, if you don't mind posting that link in there, you just did a very quick, fun little Bon Mott video that talks exactly about that, of the quote you just said about perfection, that it just literally steals the energy and the time. And we talk a lot about that with being Hangout hosts and video content and how you put that out there of getting the right message, getting yourself together, but then just doing it. And I had to do that too. You guys have heard me say that a million times about the Mia Connect and then changing it from social media power chat to the Mia Connect. And as long as I stayed true to what I felt my message was, then you can make that transition with very little kind of blips and bumps. But I'm just wondering if the audience is starting to see a theme that a lot of what we're talking about, yes, it's business, but it's really about being plugged in to, I hate to do it to you, but universe, spirit, your purpose. Sorry, guys, but this is a spirit-driven world we got going on.
Well, and you model and exemplify every day in every piece of communication what I'm talking about, Mia. And I encourage all entrepreneurs to use you as a role model, because how you know what the connection and the engagement that you want to have with your folks, because you want to work with people who love you, not just like you, love you.
Oh, and that I love too.
Yeah, and that exactly. And so you know the experience you want them to have. So you're automatically drawing in people who are your ideal clients, customers, etc.
Viewers.
Because you're staying true to your voice.
Amen. And guys, if you're just tuning in, I'm Mia Voss. This is Andy Lyons. We are talking about reinvention, startups, startovers, and getting our groove on. I'll tell you what my unofficial tagline is sitting around talking about I love all day.
Yep.
Love, right?
Yeah, but you also have that wonderful transparency, that wonderful ability to be vulnerable, and that makes you so appealing to such a wide audience, Mia. I just hugely congratulate you, and everybody just join me, okay?
I'm going to clap. I'm going to clap back at you. And listen, here's what's great about Andy, you guys, because I've done hangouts with her. We're going to do a little mutual admiration society, because speaking of transparency, the A word that's overused, authenticity, you really are the you-who thing that you do. That's really you. The mois, you even got Ronnie Benzer to say hashtag moi. I was like, Ronnie Benzer just said hashtag moi. I love this. It's quite a character. I love it.
It's very exciting. And then there's the Andylicious, too.
Oh, love that.
Oh my gosh.
That is.
And my husband, he's, he's a smarty pants business guy. He's in renewable energy. I talk about this a lot. When I told him Andy Licious, you could see him shudder. He said, "Oh, really?" I said, it's perfect for my ideal audience. And the way I came about that is that I bring such hardcore business skills, years and years, from the 8millionventurecapitalback.com to where I am today, that I know what it takes to launch, brand, and build a business. And I know what it takes to do it without spending a fortune and wasting time. And the Andy Licious came in because I love encouraging entrepreneurs. Yeah, this is a wonderful journey. I want to frame everything I give them, whether it's the 12-month projected cash flow statement, whatever, and frame it in enthusiasm, encouragement, inspiration. And look at you. Look at you. You.
That is so you too. Here's what I love about you that I knew before, but got to know in several conversations. Which, you guys, this whole show, when did that get birthed, Andy? About we gave birth to it on a HOA or on a private hangout about a month and a half ago, and I can't remember what show we've been talking about, but we started talking about what you're doing, and I said, man, this StartOvers, there's a lot of us out there at a lot of different ages, by the way, because I met this wonderful little millennial last night, little Kate Maralt. I just love her. She's doing wonderful things with empowering women here in Denver, and she's doing some programs, and she's 29, and she's we talked about this in the green room. This poor kid comes from this generation of, born from people of our age where we were like, we're going to make things great for these kids, and they've got all these expectations. She comes out of college in 2009. I'm like, man, the bitch slap must have been heard around the world for you, kid.
Oh, boy. It's kind of like the kids who were raised in the Clinton years where it was just skyrocket, skyrocket. I used to sit across the table from these early 20-year-olds when I had college broadcast and negotiate their equity package. It was crazy because they came of age when .coms were launching left and right.
Right.
And people were making a fortune, and they just thought that's how it was going to be. Anybody remember those days?
That's, you know what, and I was living in New York at the time. Same, it was this like just booming skyrocket, and then these kids had the same thing of they spent all the 90s the same thing, hearing about .com and get rich and just boom, 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 and then they come out. So, even she's had to reinvent. It was a really fun.
Well, and reinvention
idea to hear that, like that it's not just us, that it's just, I don't want to say fun, but you know what I mean, that it's a lot of people have had to do it. So it's not just us in our 40s or our 50s. That's why I was saying this is perfect for all ages.
It is, and you and I were talking about my youngest who in middle school and really his entire academic career had a lot of learning differences. And when he left middle school, he was recommended for all level 3 classes. That's the bottom of the class. And he said, Mom, that's not what I want for myself. And his first day of high school, which is scary enough, he marches down on his own to guidance and says, this isn't going to work for me. Put me in level 1s. And they said, okay, get your parents to sign off. And we're going to be like, of course, support him, whatever he wants to do. And he reinvented himself in high school. And even to the point that after the freshman year of junior varsity basketball, he said, nope, I don't want to get pigeonholed as a jock in this high school. I'm stepping down and I'm focusing.
Brave kid.
And we were just in awe watching that. I thought, wow, that's a young age to be reinventing yourself. But boy, and folks who have left IBM, a career at IBM, and gone off to do something wonderful, whether it's food related or save the planet with water, or a wonderful business idea. You can reinvent yourself anytime you want.
Girlfriend, just like you said, you're comfortable, and you said it with such ease. I may have a different pitch next week, and that's fine too. That it just, talk about being open to the people that need something in your world. If you're open to it, you can be like, oh, that person, I can fill this niche. And kudos to your son. Because high school is so comfortable anyway, right? And then to go and change things up, that's tremendous. I love it. I'm going to pull in some more comments if you're okay with that.
I love that.
Let me adjust. It pinches my head a little bit, but it's worth the price of being pretty. Let me tell you something. All right, here There we go. We have some fun. I love this about Scott Scowcroft. He said this the other day. He says, speaking of reinvention, I'm the reluctant entrepreneur who will never look back. I call myself the accidental. He's the reluctant one. I love that. Wow. Elaine Nieberding is on this new kick. Have you seen this when she's doing the F words? How fun is it? Perfection. Ever notice the commonality of perfection and infection? What the F? What the feck? Sheffy says, when you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. Andy Lyons. I love it. He's always got something fun to say. Christine agrees. This is a spirit-driven world. Absolutely. Sheffy again says, I'm the one with the universe is my mantra when things go south. And then I love Jeff C. The online networking has been the brick moment for me, Mia, and Andy. Being able to partner with people on G+ and other social networks has been a game changer. A to the M on that one, right? That was,
absolutely.
Gosh, that's amazing, Andy. Like you're saying that this whole thing that you've built. Guys, nobody ever gets to use the excuse of I can't adjust because you started this in 2011, 2014. Girlfriend made it happen.
Yeah, so I switched and I'd love to sell Bring Back Desire if anybody would like a wonderful platform. But it still cranks along, and I'm doing a 30-day advertising beta test on the site. I do nothing, and that site just hums. So it's helping people, and that really is what matters to me most. And now I get to help entrepreneurs. And folks will hear me use entrepreneurial adventurer all the time. And again, that's framing the journey, because a lot of times what you're doing right now may not work out. And I don't want you to, entrepreneurs can get paralyzed by the fear of making a mistake, a wrong turn, oh my gosh, because this is it. No, this is your adventure. You're on an entrepreneurial adventure, and you'll go on to another one. And it's exciting because the contrast that you'll get from making a mistake, a wrong turn, a bad hire, whatever, oh my gosh, it feeds you with great information for yourself. So that's why I like to call it an adventure.
You know what? That's a good setup, though, sweetie, because a lot of times I'll be like, okay, I'm going to make this big switch, and then I'm going to get scooched down and just, hunker down and not move at all. And so I think the fluidity is a big part of it, too.
And I think, too, just address what you were talking about with friends looking at you going, now what is it you're doing? When you step out and take your idea and bring it to market and you sell it, that is remarkable. But oftentimes you're going to have that initial dreamy fall in love honeymoon stage with your business where you're going to be skipping down the road and gazing into each other's eyes and up all night with excitement. But then you're going to, the chemicals are going to leave the brain, and then you're going to be left dealing with the reality. And that's the challenge in a business. And what do you do when your computer's staring mutely back at you, or in your case, when your friends really, when they see you in pain, because sometimes this journey can be really tough, and you're scratching your head trying to figure out the solutions. They're really, out of love in their heart, they're saying, can't you go get a job?
It's true. It really is. And listen, speaking of adventure, we're going to be adventurous. I'm going to post the link right here, and it should just pop up. If anybody, we have about 10 minutes left. If anybody wants to pop in and chat with me in this hot little number I got going on my couch, I'm going to post it right there. You should be able to just cut and paste it and put it in a separate window, and it should open up. Real quick, we've got a couple other comments. Look at this. This is from our girl, Yvonne. Watching my two ladies on the big screen in bed. What else can you ask for? I like it.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, she's so sweet, isn't she?
Yeah.
I love it. This is a good one from Walter. It's a long one, so please go pop back and read it. But I love this comment, the ding moment. Don't you like that? He was a delivery driver he was talking to a delivery driver who asked him why he was in a job that he was too smart for. He didn't think much of it. He jokingly mentioned his wife, and she said, it's about time you see what the rest of us have known. He switched directions, enrolled in college, and now he's been on his way and happier since he was a teenager. So kudos to our brother Walter, right?
Walter, I have goosebumps all over my body from that story. You are so amazing. And I share a quote a lot with people from this one guy. He talks about how his first business failed miserably. His second business failed really badly too. His third business failed, but not so badly. And his fourth business, it was really close, but it's okay now. But his fifth business, he co-founded PayPal.
And then there's that. Like, seriously.
So
Yes.
stick with it. Stick
Yes.
with it.
Yeah,
It's a
I
fun
think.
adventure.
And don't you think, and Denise wholeheartedly agrees, because she's Adventures in Visibility, which I love, so she's on it. But don't you think that's a little bit of a good reminder for all of us, is that of course on social media that we're posting sort of the best of the best, right? The highlights. We're not really seeing we're not going to post, and who wants to see all this dirty details of this didn't work out today? But we have to remind ourselves that a lot of the things we're seeing, the successes, things that people are posting really are the cream of the crop. And so you're not seeing all these just like really lonely moments that we have, but they're going to happen. So stop trying to have them. Just dig through it, move through it, like Andy's saying, of being flexible. And then, but just remember, I mean, that story goes perfectly with it, Andy. Of fourth, fifth, whoops.
And you know who does that really well, who honors his journey and said, wow, I tried that out and that didn't work at all, is Jason T. Weiser.
Brother man, he does.
Does a lovely job being just so open about, I don't know, we're going to try it, and that's great because, and folks, this can happen a lot online, as Mia was just saying. You can start the comparison, and that is the thief of joy. Oh my gosh, you start comparing yourself to someone.
And it's very sneaky, don't you think, Andy? It sneaks up on you just so easily. You're like, whoop, I was, I'm not fill in the blank, or I should. Oof.
Right, and that doesn't serve you. I know it's hard, but it's mental training, I know. And go ahead.
No, you know what I want to celebrate too. It really is. Let's also give a shout out. I've met a lot of people recently who have gone through the entrepreneurial thing, and they've gone back to working for someone. Now, we've clearly established for a lot of us that's not going to work, but I've talked to a couple friends that have ended up getting these wonderful positions because they've made these really great collaborative relationships, and also because there's a lot more transparency with a lot of companies. So kudos to the people that have had the courage to say, I don't want to pay my health insurance anymore, and found a place where their entrepreneurial spirit is celebrated. My friend Kyle Chisholm, shout out to him. We were just talking about that yesterday. But they're in a comfortable spot and working in a collaborative nature that they're working for a company.
Well, Blair Glazer, everybody go to blairglazer.com. She is an amazing leadership person, but she wrote a great post on 4th of July about freedom. And for one person, going back to work was freedom. It was freedom from worrying about where the next paycheck was going to come from, where the next client was going to come from, and how is he going to feed his family. So a lot of times working is wonderful because you're able to save money to invest in another business, or as your friend said, they're reaching heights that they never thought they would individually, because when you do get into the right kind of organization, you are collaborating in a way that lifts you so much higher. You have so many more resources. Hello, IT? My computer's done. Can you come get...
Is that not the worst thing about being an entrepreneur or solopreneur, is when it says, consult your IT person, and then I do this? Where are they? Because I don't see them in here.
It's like people, plants, cats, come on, hop to.
I know, Maggie, Bob. You didn't even get Bob here too. Hey, speaking of which, Bob is with us here today. Again, he fell down earlier, but he's very secured because I found his little thing. So shout out to Bob. He is still here in spirit, jingling his little kitty bell. Yay for us, right? Anybody else you want to shout out, honey? I see a few more comments, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up.
Great.
Yeah. Do you have anybody you want to shout out though?
Oh. Gosh,
yeah.
I have so many wonderful people
yeah,
out there.
Andy met
me. Andy Grant, who was on my show a few weeks ago, did a wonderful job in the whole ebook, and he turned his life around from trying to commit suicide 3 different times because he had such severe depression to a fully vibrant life. I love him. He's a local guy, and we already said hello to my local wonderful Stephan. I mean, how lucky am I to have him so close by?
I'm jelly.
Oh, and Lisa, I just love and adore you. There's Cherie. There's just so many wonderful people. Christine was on my show, Elbone, the other day. But Lainey Sullivan, every Monday, mastermind. And Susan Finch, who saves my life always.
Yeah, so that's a core team. That's a good tribe.
That is. And then, of course, Ronnie, who I met when I first came here. He and Yifat Cohen and Tom Wolfson were just a power triangle for me when I came on here 2 years ago. So helpful and so lovely. I just feel totally blessed.
And it's so great because these people that are also in my tribe have really helped us build our business.
Yes.
Just by the masterminding too. I loves it. We have a couple more comments here too. So Sean says, hi, Sean Mahon. We love him. As Tony Robbins would say, we need to stop shooting all over ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
I love that. And then here's one more story from Mike Bays. He had bagel shops. He sold bagels to the Denver area. Woot woot. I put the woot woot in, obviously. Whole Foods markets. His brick was when he could make a natural blueberry bagel without spending 4 times the price that they paid. You know, then there's that. You said you had the same thing, Andy, right?
Yeah. Boy, when you lose margin on a food product, forget it. And you lose margins if you're in any kind of shelf life on a grocery store.
Here's what I love about you, just a random quick segue. I love just this beautiful spirit. You're so giving. I love the boas. But girlfriend, have you got a hot mind on you? You got a heart.
I got a mind for business and a body for. Woohoo! Remember, it was working girl, right?
Yes,
that's a great line.
Oh my gosh, that's totally you. I love it. And then a few more. Eileen Smith's in the house. She says, hi, so happy to have, she's happy to be here, loves us, and we love her.
I love Eileen. Yay! And on Instagram, she's amazing. I mean, she's a social media rock star, hands down. Really.
She was on, go watch her on Jeff C's show on this past night. It was super good too. So, all right, girlfriend, we are at 46 after the hour. Nobody took the bait to come on the show. I'm just saying. But I think they probably, I'm hoping they got what they needed from the comments.
Absolutely. And again, this wonderful form of engagement, all you entrepreneurs out there, take an opportunity to do Hangouts. Don't worry about how it looks. Just do it. Be yourself. Get good lighting. Get good sound. Get wired in. But from then on, you know, interview people. Those of you making transitions out of one expert field into another, this is a phenomenal way to increase your visibility, your connection, and your credibility in an area you know nothing about. It's wonderful.
Man, that is, pay attention to that. That is so very true. I know we've all been sort of spreading our little Googleness to people, but it really is. It is a great way. If you want to get into a new business and start creating content, start doing that. Start going on shows. Reach out to a lot of the people that are here too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So, hey, girlfriend, what's on the bottom? What's on the bottom? Come on, I have to. Everybody sees the top of you, so I want to see what you're wearing on the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah. Woo!
What do you mean? I got to get up there and show?
This is the best. Yeah, and we got a booty spank with it, too. I love that. I will give you a little.
I did that for Cheryl Locke. Cheryl Locke. Awesome. There we go. A little spanking.
Oh, one great life. Phil's coming in.
It really is. It is a great way if you want to get into a new business and start
he's got the video on.
Start going on shows. Reach out to a lot of the people that are.
There we go. Hey, brother.
And so,
hey.
On, dear. You have the show on, dear.
Come on, I have to. Nobody ever sees. Everybody sees it.
Oh.
Phil, can you mute yourself? We can hear the show. Oh, bless him. Hold on a second. Phil came and saw us in San Diego. Oh, there we go. Let's just look at him. Hey, Phil, let's look at him.
So you lift us up every single day with your one great light comments. Amazing.
Doesn't he? Yeah, he fits in well for coming on this show too. He did. He showed up. I said San Diego. He was in LA. We did the show with Sheffy, and he showed up, brought some wonderful flowers, hang out with me and Chef and all the people, and that's what HIRLs are all about.
That is wonderful. I love that.
Yes, yes. Okay, Phil, you want to say hi to us? We can hear you. Oh, wait, I think we can hear you now. And we hear somebody like doing some lawn work in the background too. Come over to my house when you're done.
That's wonderful.
How are you?
Good. What's on the bottom, Phil?
You probably don't want to go there.
And I finally stumped somebody who doesn't want to show what's on the bottom.
You know, it must be a Speedo, clearly.
I know. Take a picture and show it. All right, listen, Phil, since you came in, let's hear what your back crap crazy is, and then we'll get Andy's back crap crazy.
Oh, backcrap crazy. It has to be you two. I mean, the amount of support that you two give, not only to me, but to the rest of us, in our Google Plus circles, is just phenomenal. I mean, Andy, the stuff that you do to help entrepreneurs, I'm always interested in the things that you have to share. And of course, Mia, you and I had an opportunity to spend a couple of minutes together.
We did.
And it changed the way that I look at Google Plus. It changes the way that I've endeared myself to you. I'm your #1 fan, so
Thank you, bud.
it's not a stock.
Nope. There was no stock feel at all because you were also stalking Sheffy, so you Sheffy.
That's right.
Thank you, though, and it was great to have. If you guys haven't had the opportunity, if you're going to do a show, maybe open it up to have a live audience come and hang out with you, because it was great. I mean, we felt like we had support. Phil knows how the shows run. Mm-hmm. Joanne Woolley was there. A couple other people. There were. Jean Layton was there as well, and we got to just have this interaction. So it was pretty cool. We sort of turned Google Hangouts on its ear a little bit, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yay! Thank you.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Thank you for coming in. Next time, ShipCon next year. The wife's going too. I'm just saying.
That's right.
Excellent. Thank you, dear. All right, Andy, what's your backcrab crazy and your call to action? And give me a bunch.
Oh my gosh! Well, first of all you entrepreneurs out there, please. No, I am in awe and wonder of all of you, and thank you for finding the courage somewhere in your body and in your heart and your soul to do what you do. Mm-hmm. I'm cheering you on. Everything and every step you're taking is absolutely perfect. So in the unfolding of it all. The other thing I want to remind everybody, it's a Tina Fey quote that I just love, which is say yes and you'll figure it out later. Right? It's just so easy. My call to action is I love helping entrepreneurs launch, build, and brand their businesses without spending a fortune or wasting a lot of time. So feel free to ping me for a 30-minute CEO power chat. Because I know I've sat at my desk pulling my hair out going, what? I get on the phone with someone. The answer is within you. All I am is a catalyst when you call. We can find that. If I don't know the answer or solution, I know someone who does. So please don't hang out any longer in any kind of struggle or confusion or what do I do next? Call me. The solution is right around the corner for you. Call to action, please download my 7 essential strategies for early stage entrepreneurs. Yes, I focus on the 0 to 5 years of a business. That's my favorite. And these essential strategies are absolutely what you need to grow your business. And if any of you really want to nail down the numbers and embrace them and love them and intend them and reach them, my 12-month projected cash flow is like nothing you've ever been through before, because I am not a banker or an accountant. I look at the next 12 months of your business from the heart of an entrepreneur. Ooh. And with the smarty pants of trying different streams and pulling it together and starting off with your intention of where you want to be 12 months out. So there's a lot of fun things we can do.
Oh, man, you had me at that last one. Hello, you had me at nail down the numbers.
It's, happiness is a positive cash flow. So that's what it's all about.
So quotable. You're just like one cross-stitch pillow after another.
And Mia, I just launched a weekly 60-second podcast called The Andylicious Minute. And it's just a bite of encouragement for you to get you through another week. So I hope you all will tune into that, and I'll send a link where you can find it.
Yes, please. And all the links to that I did mention before to go to her website to download that book. But yeah, this numbers thing, I love that. Thank you so much for coming and being on the show.
Oh, thank you. And folks, I'm always at the bar. I'm sorry, Twitter. So come over and see me at Andy Lyons. It's my favorite hangout.
That goes for my yay wine. My little sign. And Phil, thank you so much for being with us too. Phil, do you have a call to action?
I'm going to kind of echo what Andy says here. The answers that I guess sort of we constantly chase, right? They're already in us, right? I mean, you just simply have to remember that if you can see the problem, you can see the answer. You hold the answer already, and it's something that many of us struggle with, right? What am I going to do? How am I going to do it? It's simple. If you can see the problem, You can't see what you don't know. So if you see a problem, you already see the answer, and you have to move confidently in that.
I'd say the hashtag is instant clarity, which I love. So,
listen to the universe.
Yeah, listen to the whisper, get hit with a brick. So
yeah, that's right.
I am loving that. So my Backcrap Crazy, I just launched a new thing called Brandtastic, and it's really fun. I got so inspired by all the brands that I saw at ShiftCon. So now I'm starting to represent them and doing things like Ecos that sent me Parsley Plus. I'm going to clean the you-know-what out of my house this weekend because I'm getting green, party people. I'm going green. So I'm very much Backcrap Crazy for Ecos is my new favorite thing, getting the house all clean. And that's it. So next week we're going to be talking about going to the polls because it's getting pretty close to that. I'm sure most of you cannot watch TV for more than 2 seconds without being inundated by one message or another. So I'm going to bring on a couple of experts, including Gary Hirschberg, who is with Stonyfield Organic. We're going to talk about some of the issues that are going on around the country. So get a little serious, but we'll have fun too.
Oh, we love Gary. He's from our neck of the woods.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. New Hampshire. He's wonderful. Beautiful brand he started many years ago.
Yes, yeah, he is the shiz.net, so he's going to be on the show too. It's going to be super fun. So that's it, guys. Mwah, mwah. You get to close it with your mwah, Andy.
Mwah. Thank you, everyone. Love you, Mia Foss. Mwah.
Bye, guys.